going to be tacked onto a canvas, and it's called Take Another Tack. So my given piece was a peg, and so you can see some pegs on there, and there's some fibres from the piece of material I was given, and an imprint from a piece of the paper I was also given.
So I was really pleased with the way that I really enjoyed playing with the dyes and the prints and stuff, and the way that it could transform something really revolting to something quite fun. And then stitching is way out of my comfort zone. And so, you know, when I was sent home to stitch, I stitched around the wheels with shiny thread, because I do love shiny things. And then came back and laid the papers, and the blue thing was one of the ones I was given, onto it, and then decided that it needed something, and it was actually Connie's suggestion to extend this wheel out, and then I did some little knots to just fill it in. So I was quite happy with the way ugly pieces of magazine paper and this horrible fabric. It's all personal moment, isn't it? Yeah. Turned into something really quite nice.
For me, probably the biggest thing was this piece, and the girls all knew yesterday that I was really unhappy with the tissue paper, because it was just stark white and, to me, ugly. But instead of ripping it off, which is what I thought I was going to do, I've done all the stitching, completely changed the whole look. And for me, that's been a big thing. Instead of unpicking and pulling and taking things off, try to work out how to make them look better as they are. So that's been a pretty big development for me.
And even though I feel as I didn't do a huge amount as some of the other people, I thought, because you can rip them up and use tiny little bits on different things, it worked and it stretched out over the whole thing. And I only had a few pieces that actually worked really well as textures. The lace and the leafless things, but I think I was really happy with how they came out.
They're fabulous.
Yeah.
Quite nervous and unsure, and now I just feel like you've transformed. You might be that inside, but the work is phenomenal, and you're just much more confident in playing around more.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, you're right. Well, my piece, I've called Autumn Sun, but I selected this piece because it had a focal point in it. So what I've got out of it is I've given myself permission for freedom and get out of the box. I mean, I was an architectural drafter, and you're very disciplined. Everything has to be just so. And I've always struggled with getting out of that. But I still see there is a need for my years of drafting. They're very useful.
Yes.
Because I can see perspective and what I've learned doing that. So with the combination, I think I should be able to take my work a lot further than what I've done up till now.
An adventurer, and decide that you might take many paths. Some of them you'll have to turn back on, some you'll move forward. And as you go, you collect things on the way that are important to your journey. And they build up, and you deposit things. And those things that you deposit you may return to, and then you have to be an archaeologist and investigate even further and extract. And I think really that's what being creative is about.
What a mess, but I've got to stop and clean up. I can't say I really knew what I was doing at all, but I loved doing this paper, that screwing up at the paper. And I stopped too soon. I sort of don't know where to go. Cas came along and said, do you mind if I rip up there? And it made quite a difference. I think that's all I've got to say, except I'm going to get a new sewing machine.
I had a reason for doing this workshop. I bought Cas's book in Australia last year when I was in Geelong, And I've always loved textile work, but what I liked about, I do a lot of collage with paper, but when I've put the textile in it, it didn't quite do it. And so, reading Cas's book, I saw that the layers, and that was what I was seeking.
I liked all of the structure and thinking about how to structure things.
That's beautiful.
But I think the biggest thing I got out of this was cutting it up. As others have said, I get a piece and I could kind of think, oh, that's got promise, but I have no idea what kind of promise it has or what I can do with it. So when we cut up that first piece, I wanted to cut up everything. So, and I'll probably do that from now on. Too much. So I'll probably be rating everything.
Up with somebody last year, and they had lots of textures and fabrics, but they didn't know what to do with them.
Yes.
And it's that you've got the tools now, and there's been enough little things that somebody can move on with books. You don't know where your journey's going to end. Somebody might want to move on with a lot more printing with cuffs and collars. So there is enough that you can find the things that are important to you and excavate what's essential. So the physical process is also a metaphoric process of opening up your mind and refining your thoughts.
So the idea of layering, I'm scared of covering up things that I like, covering them up with something else because you feel as if you're losing them. But then I love the gluing. And then to see that you can cut in and take bits away and show what's underneath. But I think I'm getting there, and I've loved this week. So.
And also, the way you talked about your work, processes follows many different streams. Sometimes you need to get a handle of the process without thinking, is this construction right, is composition right? You just got to get used to handling the materials. We always set the bar very high, and I think we should do. But I've never achieved leapt over that bar, because otherwise I'll stop creating. So you always have that bar very high, but at the same time, when you're doing an exercise, think about the purpose of the exercise. Is it A, to learn the basic techniques of that particular process of working, whether it's watercolour or whatever, or is it B, opening up possibilities to do with the way you think about your work and how you might move forward? Is it setting up some games that allow you to do that? Or finally, is it to do with opening up your ideas about design? And sometimes all three can come together, but each exercise which we've done has been weighted between one or the other. It's not been all. And somehow they will gradually merge.
Napkin with orange flowers on, so I coloured it.
Yeah.
So, and that's in it, and there was a piece of material that I dyed to make it, because it was very bright, so
Taking on board how you respond to the work, but wherever we are, and I think hopefully that comes across in my book about this, everything's within my footsteps. It's not just the natural environment too, because we that physically interact with a mechanical world, an increasingly mechanical world, and we strive to find that balance constantly. Make our ideas visible. You draw upon your experience. You draw a connection between one place and another. And the physical act of drawing metaphorically relates to that process. So it's to extract, I think it encompasses so many things. And when people say they don't draw, we draw daily. Somebody here in the group said that they're now looking at things differently. They're looking at the potential for its use. That's learning to use the visual tools that you have and were given. And unless we connect, and the Japanese say that they call it konkaku, it's the connection between the mind, the hand and the eye. And it should flow. And if we lose that connection, we lose that physical connection with the world. Because it's the opposing finger and thumb that first of all gave us the ability to move on. And so without that, our intelligence wouldn't have grown. It's the physical relationship we started to make with the world around us that also helped to develop our brain. So
let that go in order to explore. But gradually, as you go back through, your own identity should come within the work. And what you've all done, without fail, is produced work that is as individual as you are. It's got nothing to do with my ownership over the technique or processes. I do not want my work to be repeated because it shouldn't be and can't be. I'm me.
Yes.
So if you would like
Usually seen when we've had a group together of people, and it means that you're one of us now.